Hello, welcome to Sound and Fury Book Reviews. As usual, I am Tina. Today I'm doing a book review of the classic, not really classic, sci-fi Shards of Honor by Lois McMaster Bujold? I don't know. So this is a sci-fi from 1986 from Baen Books. As I said, it's right on the edge of classic sci-fi for me. I have a little thing in my description that explains what classic sci-fi means. So Shards of Honor is a space opera without the drama. It's about adults making sensible decisions in space. I have heard so many great things about this series, and it seemed to have everything that usually puts me in a I'll probably love this headspace. You know, female main character, galactic war, a bit of romance. But, and I realize I'm in the minority here, I wasn't super into this book. Perhaps it was the writing style, which felt a bit passive to me, or maybe it's because I had trouble caring about the characters or the relationship. First of all, though, what is it about? In the wrong place at the wrong time for the wrong reasons. Cordelia Naismith, Benton Expeditionary Force, had been hurled into battle still wearing her old tan astronomical survey fatigues. Now captain of a throwaway ship on a mission of deception, she convoys a weapon of wicked subtlety to entrap and destroy an enemy armada. But Cordelia will discover deception within deception, treachery within treachery, until finally she's forced into a separate peace with her chief opponent, Lord Vorkosigan, or Vorkosigan, I don't know, in a peace that earns her only ignominy, even though it foreshadows a new beginning for herself, her lover, and both their peoples. This back really does not match what happens. So where to start? There are some things I enjoyed about the novel, of course. The concept of human society going in different cultural directions was really interesting. I liked that we're not given a ton of exposition at the start, so we have to figure things out as we go. I really liked that. And of the few action scenes that we get, they're really great as they incorporate different aspects of space physics or intrigue. Honestly, I wish there were so many more battle scenes because they were really fun. I also liked how the characters were older, they're in their 30s and 40s, and they acted like normal, rational humans. But normal, rational humans are a bit boring. Some of this could have been due to the dialogue. It felt very stilted to me, and there's a lot of dialogue in this novel. Likewise, we get a lot of the plot from her telling him or he telling her, which made the story feel both rushed and given to us at arm's length. I just wasn't into it. I wasn't immersed. As you know, I like a bit of romance in my sci-fi sometimes, and the romance here lacked considerable tension. In fact, there's no tension whatsoever. It's like, oh, I think you're a good person. Let's get married. What is that? Even sensible adults experience sexual tension, but all she does is check out his ass a few times, and then they're like, let's get married. It's like, I wanted a bit more kind of, like intrigue. Also, and this is just a personal reaction, but there's this extended precursor to sexual assault that was awful to read. It wasn't good tension, but reminded me of 80s B movies where for no reason they throw in an attempted or full-on rape scene. Yes, I realize it existed in the plot for a reason in this case of this book, but it didn't need to be so drawn out. The whole time I was just like, ew, what am I reading? Because also it really took a turn in tone at that point. Because before then, it was kind of like light and kind of breezy, and there wasn't like a huge amount of like, and there wasn't anything kind of dark about the book. And then this scene happened, and it kind of came out of nowhere. And I think that was also why I didn't really like it. I was kind of like, oh, okay. Overall, if it had been one of these things, I probably would have enjoyed the book a lot more. But in truth, I kind of couldn't wait to be finished. And I feel really sad about that because, as you know, I really like when, I really like supporting like female sci-fi authors, but I can't do that if I don't like the book. So I'm going to go into my classic sci-fi bingo, which if you've watched my other classic sci-fi reviews, pretty much goes into spoilers. So if you haven't read this book and you don't want too many spoilers, then don't pay attention to this, but if you have, then go on right ahead and keep watching. So, outdated science. Yes, check mark for that. We have data discs. Apparently we use CDs in the future. Spaceship blows up or crashes? No, not really. Like, not in the sense of like it's a big part. There are ships battling, but it's not like a part of the story, really. Predicting social changes? Yes, in that the society has gone different ways socially depending on the planet they've settled. The Bettons or Betans, however you say them, also have women in their military. Oh, shocking. Sexy female scientist? Cordelia is a female scientist, but she's not hypersexualized, so I would say no, there's no sexy female scientist. In that she's not a trope. Cool aliens? No, there's no aliens in this book. There's alien creatures, but those don't really count as aliens. And as such, there's no alien human romance. There's no generation ship. There are space soldiers as Vorkosigan or Vorkosigan or whatever, however you say his name. He's a space soldier, as are all the dudes he works with. AI robots, no. New worlds, yep. The survey world at the start gets a lot of description, and in fact, I really, really liked that part. That part I really liked. I liked the part near the end where she was like escaping the planet. I liked the battle scenes. There's some really great scenes in this book. It's just all the stuff that connects them together I was not into, and I think that's the problem. Cyberpunk, no. Blatant sexism, no. But this does lead me, as usual, into talking about women in the book for just a few minutes. I really liked that Cordelia was the main character. I liked how she's competent and strong, but also smart and determined. The lack of women in the Bariaran military often ends up being a bad thing for the Bariarans, however you say their name. I really liked that aspect because it felt like it was dismantling the idea of not having women in the military. One thing I didn't think was handled very well was the way women were treated in the POW camp. Well, Vorkosigan, I'm just going to Vork, shoots the commander who allowed his men to assault the women. We don't hear a lot about the individual soldiers getting punished for this. They have these like uterine replicators, which they use to grow fetuses outside the womb, and the doctor wants to send them home with the soldiers that got the women pregnant. How this would be beneficial to the future child, though, I don't know, given the dad is obviously an asshole. Now, while I like the idea that forced birth isn't something that happens on Beta Colony, normalizing abortion would be better. I also don't like the phrase blood guilt thrown around with the idea of an abortion, but at least this was considered, as most sci-fi books from the 80s wouldn't even think about, what would happen to someone who was pregnant that didn't want to be. They just would ignore it in the plot. So yeah, I like that was addressed. I just don't think it was handled in a way that, I guess, lines up with my perception and I think a more modern approach to reproductive justice. I did like how Cordelia was assigned a psychologist after her time in the POW camp, though it does turn out that that was because they thought she was a spy. But I still like the idea that they were trying to, they weren't ignoring what happened to her, especially given what they thought had happened. I thought that was really good because usually books, as usual, when something happens to a woman, usually a sexual assault, they just kind of ignore it. It just goes away. No one ever talks about it again. So I like that it was addressed in this. Forerunner technology. Nope, there's no Forerunner tech. LGBTQ plus representation. Yes, Vork is bisexual. That was a nice surprise. I was not expecting that at all. Yet, of course, the bad guy rapist is also the other gay character in the book, which gave me real Baron Harkonnen vibes. Wasn't super into that, but I really did like that Vork was bisexual. That was great. Portals or black holes? Nope. Microfiche? No microfiche. The male MC is kind of a dick? Nope, because we have a female MC. Racial equality? No, because it appears that everybody in this book is white. I mean, maybe they don't mention it, but it's never specified that anyone is anything other than white, especially the main characters. Now, I could be wrong about that. If I am, let me know and I'll fix my chart, but I don't think it helps it get a bingo. Okay. Plasma or other future weapons. Yep, there's this disruptor gun that scrambles your brain. Basically, the one character basically suffers from this the entire first half of the book. There's also projection tech they use on a spaceship to get past the Bariaran forces. It creates a massive kind of hologram, I guess, of a bigger ship. So it diverts the attention of the warships to that instead of the little ship that's trying to get around the forces. Trying to get past the Bariaran forces. I thought that was cool. Post-apocalyptic? No. Bounty hunters or assassins? No. Galactic war? Yes. Tech similar to today? Not really. Passes the Bechdel test? Yes, it does pass the Bechdel test. There are other women in the book, though they don't really arrive until about halfway through, but they're there. Quick bonus, reptile aliens? No. Female main character? Yes. Convergent evolution? No. So overall, I don't know, I can't even say I enjoyed it, because I found it so, I kind of was just struggling through it. So, I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Maybe I was in a bad mindset when I was reading it. Maybe it just, was not for me at the time. Let me know what you think about Shards of Honor or the series, because I'm really curious. And, of course, you can disagree with me and say that I'm crazy for not liking it, but, I mean, that's my opinion. I'm not going to change my mind. So, yeah. Thanks for watching, and see you later.